Hey guys, welcome to episode 7 of Awan Answers, where I, Ijaz Awan, answer your business and startup related questions. Guys, sorry I've fallen off the horse for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I was actually in Pakistan celebrating my brother's wedding. So yeah, I got caught up with that and I've got a ton loads of work on my desk waiting for me to catch up. So yeah, I've got to get stuck into that. But for now, for those of you that don't know the layout of the show, this is what we do. I will answer your business and startup related questions, but the catch is I'll only do so via Snapchat. So here's my Snap code. Max, can you throw it up? Guys, pause the video, screenshot this, upload it onto Snapchat, and add me as a friend. Once you've done so, you can snap me through your business and startup related questions, all right? So those are the rules. And remember guys, there's no such thing as a bad or stupid question. However basic, if you're a complete newbie, it doesn't matter. Snap me through your questions and I'll do my best to get through to it. If I don't get it on the show, I'll reply to you directly on Snapchat. All right, so without further ado, let's get it. Rightio guys, question number 1. In your opinion, do you think entrepreneurs are born or made? Oh, coming from Schaumburg, Illinois. We're reaching Illinois, guys. Not bad. Guys, very common question and a very good question, and it comes up a lot. Look, I've actually made an in-depth video, so Max, can you throw up the link here? I've made a video covering this topic, and my opinions are clear. Look, I believe entrepreneurs can be made. Now, there's a lot of people that will go out there and say, look, if you weren't doing entrepreneurship as a kid, if you didn't have that lemonade stand at age 6, and you're not an entrepreneur, and you're never going to make it into business because you have to be born as an entrepreneur. I don't agree with that stuff. If you're willing to work hard enough, if you're willing to find out what your weaknesses are and improve on them and double down on your strengths at the same time and work stupidly hard, who's there to stop you from being an entrepreneur? Of course you can. And with that, I believe you can make it into the top 5%. Why not? You're willing to work hard. Why can't you make it? On the other hand, if you want to get to that elite 1%, maybe there is a bit of genetics. Maybe there is a bit of talent that comes into play. But that's just like any other profession, any other sport, any other field. So don't let these naysayers say that you can't achieve. If you want to be an entrepreneur and you're willing to put in the work, go and do it. Go and make it happen. It doesn't matter that you didn't have that lemonade stand at age 5. What does that matter? It doesn't matter. So yeah, guys, for a more detailed answer into that, for my points, check out the video, click the link there, drop me a comment and let me know what you think. Do you think entrepreneurs are born or made? I'd love to hear that. Question number 2, thoughts on Pokemon Go. How can we take advantage of this? No surprise that question came up here, guys. Pokemon Go is absolutely exploding. And look, guys, it's no surprise, right? Virtual reality and augmented reality was always going to come into the mainstream. And it's just that Pokemon now has managed to kind of come up with this seamless integration of augmented reality into people's day-to-day gaming lives. And it's worked really well. But for us as business people, more importantly, how can we take advantage of it? And my answer to this is, look, it's like anything. Where people congregate and there's a demand of people, you as a businessman should see an opportunity. You should see that people are there and therefore I can create value for them. But before I must observe their behavior and find out what it is they want. For example, you understand Pokemon Go means people are running around the country looking for Pokemon, right? So obviously they're going to be running around their country. Perhaps you realize they're going to be tired after a while. So why don't you create a Pokemon-themed hut or tuck shop where you're selling sweets and drinks and refreshments to make life easier for these Pokemon? At the same time, all these people and friends who are stopping by for a drink can now congregate and discuss their Pokemon game with each other. That's a good idea, right? That would work. Alternatively, if you're a coffee shop, already existing coffee shop, why don't you turn your coffee shop into a Pokemon-friendly zone? Put a banner outside saying, we welcome Pokemon trainers in this cafe. 10% off if you show us your the latest Pokemon you've caught. Whatever. Find a way to add value to these people. Another angle is, look, you know that these people running around using their data connection. Maybe you can create a zone where you provide free Wi-Fi for all Pokemon users so they can sit and play the game in a comfy area at the same time whilst being in your retail unit. So you have a position to sell to them. All right? So many different creative ways of doing this. But the thing you need to understand is you need to find a way to create value for these people, these users. In this case, it's Pokemon. Maybe in another year or so, it's a different platform that they're chasing after, a different game. But just find out what it is they need or want and then provide it. Always look to add value. So that's how I'd go about it, guys. I'd love to hear your ideas on that, by the way, guys. So if you've come up with a clever way of utilizing this Pokemon hype train for your business, drop me a comment below. Question number 3, which social platform or platforms should I be on as a barber? Why have you got a cup in your hand if you're a barber? Just beats me. Rightio. So if I was a barber, guys, barber Ijaz, quite cool. I mean, it looks like I need a barber, let alone be a barber. This is what I do, YouTube. YouTube's a big platform, guys, and the reason for that is it's a great way to create content and add value to your audience. You know I'm heavy on that, guys. I want to add value for people. Before worrying about whether they're my customer or before worrying about whether they're going to buy from me, I want to add value to them. So I want to find out what it is people want to know from a barber, and then I want to provide that value to them. So in that sense, Twitter's a great way to find out what people want to know. Put out a tweet saying, guys, what do you want to know from a barber? What are your questions for Ask the Barber? And then create an Ask the Barber series and say, here are my questions, here are the things that people are most curious about. I'm going to answer them in this show. For example, people may be saying, what sort of hairstyle suits my face shape? What sort of, should I be using product? Should I be straightening my hair? Should I be blow drying my hair? All these sort of questions will come up, and you, as the barber who are knowledgeable about this area, should be answering them for free, upfront, adding value to people. Simple. You can also go out your way and create a vlog. Maybe people are interested in seeing your day-to-day and seeing how interesting it is. Do you cut any celebrities' hairs? How do you tackle awkward situations? How do you run the business side of it? There's so many different angles you can use. Also, as a barber, I definitely be on Instagram. You've got to be on Instagram. But here, my tact would be slightly different, okay? Here, I would post polished pics of good, solid haircuts that I've completed. I'd create it like a lookbook so people can see the type of work that I get up to. It'd be very polished, it'd be very clean, crisp, and it'd be desirable. People will want to flick through that page and see the top haircuts. I'd also probably create short 10, 15-second highlights of how you cut people's hair to create the style. So there's different stages. And it's simple. Just as you're cutting someone's hair, just quickly get somebody to video you, 5 seconds here, 5 seconds there, 5 seconds there. You've got 10 to 15 seconds worth of clip there of you cutting somebody's hair. Do that for certain hairstyles where you're doing new creative hairstyles. Not for the day-to-day normal stuff, but for where you're doing creative stuff that you think people will be interested in. Similar to that, guys, I'd also be on Snapchat. But here, I'd be a lot more raw. For example, a customer walks in, they want to get their hair cut, and you know they've got an awkward type of hair. Simply get on your Snapchat, obviously asking the permission of the customer, and say, guys, if you've got curly hair like this gentleman, this is what I'd suggest. This is the type of hairstyle you should go for. This is the type you should avoid. So now you're adding value for people, and obviously do it in an entertaining or fun way. Be you. Let your personality come across. So yeah, guys, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. All 3 different techniques, but together you'll be creating a big image for you as the barber, Ijaz the barber, Ijaz the barber. And yeah, it'll be a great way for you to add value up front to people who are interested in what you're doing, all right? Right, guys, last question. Question number 4. What are your tips for somebody who is looking to expand their business into another country which is not their native country? Right here, guys, so as you know, I spent 2 weeks in Pakistan for my brother's wedding, and the biggest thing I learned there was as an entrepreneur, you need to learn how to adapt. You need to be like a chameleon. Max actually made a post on Instagram saying this, so just throw it up here somewhere. You need to be a chameleon. You need to know how to adapt to different situations and different environments. Being in the UK and operating as a businessman in the UK is completely different to being a businessman in Brazil or Morocco or Egypt or Pakistan. So you need to know how to analyze and watch consumer behavior in that territory and then provide them what they want. Okay? For example, if you're a coffee shop, let's say you're a coffee shop and you have successful coffee shops in America, the UK, and Europe. So you're used to selling your coffees for £3, say, okay? Each coffee, cappuccino or latte for £3, and people pay it without blinking. Now, you decide you want to expand to a country like Pakistan or India, where, Pakistan's got 200 million people, India's got about 1 billion, so you've got 1.2 billion people there, right? You're like, wow, great market. Let me sell them coffee. So basic commodity coffee. I'm going to do great. But the problem there is if you do that blindly without going in and understanding consumer behavior, you're going to fall into a big bear trap. Because if you go to those countries, you'll realize that for 10 to 20 rupees, which is about 10 to 20 pence, the locals will buy a cup of tea, and that's a staple in their diet. They drink tea all the time. So in their mind, they're equating a hot beverage to 10 to 20p in their mind. So when you come in with your cappuccino at 300 rupees now, it's not going to work. You're going to have to do a lot of re-education and change the culture there. You're going to have to help them understand why they need this coffee, because at the moment they don't feel the need for that. Okay? So if you're willing to do that and go through that whole education process, then of course you can be successful, because the UK and America and Europe, they never used to have this need for coffee. That was engineered in us as well, the fact that we now need coffee every single day to function. But the key here is you can't just blindly go into new territories and think you can just expand your business recklessly. I mean, speaking of coffee, Costa tried to open up a franchise. Well, they did open up a franchise in Lahore in Pakistan, one of the big cities there. And now that's closed. It wasn't successful. People were just not buying into it. It was too costly. It didn't match the culture there. And it was just a flop, right? So make sure if you're ever looking to expand your business into new territories, you do your research, you do your analysis, you see if it fits the culture of these people. And if you see that it doesn't fit, make sure you're prepared to go through that re-education process and to change culture and to create a need where it didn't exist. And of course, as entrepreneurs, we can do that as well. But yeah, good luck, guys. It's definitely possible to expand into new territories. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you have to do your research. You have to do your due diligence. You can't just think, oh, I'm successful in this one region, therefore I can just replicate it in loads of other regions. Culture, behavior, all these things are true and they change from territory to territory. So make sure you take the time to understand it. Be like a chameleon, learn to adapt, learn to adjust your business and to localize it to the territory you're operating in. All right. So yeah, solid show, 4 questions, straight back on the horse. I've got a load of work to do. All the half-year reporting is yet to be done on every single site, so we need to get that done. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It always helps me out. If you still haven't asked me a question, get over to my Snapchat, ask me a question there. Like I said, no such thing as a too stupid or basic question. Ask it, and I'll try to get it onto the next show. See you in a bit. Let's get it.